I am Bhaskar, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology. Already we have done two problems in the Fourier transform. One more problem we will do in that Fourier transforms. Right. So what are that formulas are all? You should know that Fourier transform formulas. Already we have seen that. Right. Now, third problem should be, already two questions we have done. If f of x equal to f of x equal to 1 minus x square modulus of x less than 1, 0, 0, modulus of x greater than 1, greater than 1. Find the Fourier transform of, find the Fourier transform of f of x, find the Fourier transform of f of x, and hence find the value of, and hence find the value of, hence find the value of integration of 0 to infinity, integration of 0 to infinity, x into cos x minus sin x divided by x cubed into dx. X into cos x minus sin x divided by x cubed into dx. How do you find this one? We will see. Right. Solution. Solution. Solution is, first we will take, what is that formula? We know that f of u equal to integration of x equal to minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e power iux into dx. Now, what is f of x is nothing but, see, here already I told it has been minus x less than 1 they are given. So in the last class, last problem only I told this is minus infinity, this is plus infinity, this is minus 1, this is plus 1, and this one should be 0. In minus infinity to minus 1, the value should be 0. In 1 to minus 1 to plus 1, the value should be 1 minus x square. 1 to infinity, the value should be 0. Now, I'll write directly this one. Instead of writing minus infinity to 0, minus infinity to minus 1, minus 1 to plus 1, plus 1 to infinity, just directly I'll write x equal to minus 1 to x equal to plus 1. F of x is 1 minus x square into e power iux into dx. This is, what is that, 1 minus x square is u and e power iux is nothing but dv. I'll take like that. So that's all, nothing is there in this one. Directly if you take u equal to 1 minus x square, dv is nothing but e power iux into dx. U dash is nothing but differentiation of 1 minus x square is minus 2x. U double dash is minus 2. If we go for further, it will become 0. Next one should be v is e power iux divided by iu. v1 is e power iux divided by iu whole square. v2 is nothing but e power iux divided by iu whole cube. Why I'm finding up to here, you know that, because we are finding up to u double dash, here v2 we have to find. What is that formula of integration of u dv is nothing but, we know that uv minus u dash v1 plus u double dash v2 and so on. Now I'll write f of u equal to, now integration of x equal to minus 1 to plus 1 is there. First u is nothing but 1 minus x square u into v. v is nothing but e power iux divided by iu minus differentiation of 1 minus x square is minus 2x into e power iux divided by iu whole square plus differentiation of minus 2x is nothing but minus 2 into e power iux divided by iu whole cube. Right, limit should be, here I am taking x equal to minus 1 to x equal to plus 1. X equal to minus 1 to x equal to plus 1. Now, this only I'll write. I'll take 1 by iu outside I'll take from in the first term. Remaining should be 1 minus x square into e power iux. Limit should be x equal to minus 1 to x equal to plus 1. Next one should be minus of minus should be plus 2 divided by I square into u square. Minus I took outside. Here I'll write x into e power iux. Limit should be just I'll write x equal to minus 1 to plus 1. Next one should be minus 2 divided by I cube into I cube. Divide I cube into u cube also you can take out. I cube into u cube. Remaining should be what that e power iux. Limit should be minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1 to plus 1. E power iux. E power iux. E power iux. Minus 1 to plus 1. In next step, I'll write here, say, you'll write, first one should be in next sheet, that equal to 1 by iu into, first I'll apply upper limit. So if you'll apply upper limit, 1 minus 1 square. 1 minus 1 square into e power iu. X is nothing but 1. Minus lower limit if you will apply 1 minus of minus 1 square into e power minus iu. So first term I completed. Second term should be plus this one I square value should be minus 1. See, plus 2 divided by minus 1 into u square. First you will apply upper limit 1 into e power iu minus lower limit if you will apply minus 1 into e power minus iu. E power minus iu. Third term should be what that? Minus 2 divided by I cube is there. I cube should be what that? Minus I into u cube I'll write. Minus I into u cube. So first I will apply upper limit. E power iux is there. So e power iu minus of e power minus iu. E power iu minus of e power minus iu I'll write. So already we know that if you want I can write here I square is minus 1, I cube is nothing but minus I. Right, if I'll simplify this at the same time 1 by I if you will write as minus I. 1 by I can write it as minus I, and 1 by I cube I am writing as plus I. Should remember this also, 1 by I cube I am writing as plus I. These are the logics we are going to use here. Now I'll write, already 1 by I is there, so minus I divided by u into, first term 1 minus 1 square. What is that? 1 minus 1 square is 0. Here 1 minus of minus 1 square is also 0. First term should be 0, you will get completely. Minus 2 by u square into, first one should be e power iu plus e power minus iu. Next one should be, we will simplify 1 by I cube. So what is that? 1 minus 1 by I is there. This I will cancel it, this minus minus. You cancel it, 1 by I is there. 1 by I again I will write minus I divided by u cube into e power iu minus of e power minus iu I will write. What is that? E power iu minus of e power minus iu is nothing but we know that e power I theta plus e power minus I theta equal to 2 times of cos theta. E power I theta minus of e power minus I theta equal to 2i into sin theta. Now I will write f of u equal to, so left hand side should be f of u equal to, first term should be 0, minus 2 by u square into, this one should be 2 cos u, I will write 2 cos u, minus I divided by u cube into, this one I will write 2i into sin u I will write. 2i into sin u. So if you write like this, so you will get in the form of f of u equal to minus 4 cos u minus 4 cos u divided by u square. Next, I into I, what is that I square? I square value should be minus 1 plus 1 by, 2 by u cube into sin u. 2 by u cube into sin u. If you will take LCM, so you will get in the form of f of u equal to, LCM should be u cube. If you will write first 2 right here. See, while writing here, so I missed out this 2. So 2 by u cube is there here. So again I'll write here 2. So this one should be 2 into 2 should be 4. Should write it as this one should be 4. Now I'll take 4 outside. So if you take 4 outside, you will get sin u minus u into, if you will take LCM, u cube you are taking out, LCM you are taking. So u into cos u. This is the value of what that f of u value should be this one. F of u equal to 4 into sin u minus u cos u divided by u cube. Right. To evaluate, next here they have given something they have given. What is the given should be here given that we have to evaluate what is that x cos x minus sin x divided by x cube into dx we have to evaluate. To evaluate that, I'll write to evaluate integration of the given to evaluate integration of minus infinity to plus infinity x into cos x minus sin x divided by x cube into dx. What we will do here, we have to see. Right. What is the inverse formula? Inverse Fourier transform formula. Inverse Fourier transform formula. Inverse Fourier transform formula is, what is the inverse Fourier transform formula we can see? Inverse Fourier transform formula is inverse Fourier transform formula if f of x equal to what is that formula? Already you know that 1 by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity f of u into e power minus iux into du. Now f of x equal to 1 by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity. What is that f of u? Already we found out in previous sheet, we found out f of u should be, what is that? F of u is nothing but, we know that, what is f of u? We will write. So what is that f of u is nothing but this one only. We will write 4 sin u minus u cos cube u divided by 4 times sin u minus u cos u divided by u cube into e power minus iux into du. Now, f of x equal to 4 if I will take outside, 4 divided by 2 pi, integration of minus infinity to plus infinity, sin u minus u cos u divided by u cube into e power minus iux into du. Here say, I don't want, so main should be, I don't want this e power iux term because I want to prove what is that? Already I told, I want to prove without the term x cos x minus e power iux is not there here. So that one I want. So that's the way I want to eliminate here, what is that term? X term, x e power iux term I have to make. How to eliminate? If I want to eliminate, I will choose x equal to 0. If you choose x equal to 0, so what you will get? If you put x equal to 0, then f of x equal to, x equal to 0 means what is that? F of x should be, already we know that f of x is what here. So here see, f of x is that 1 minus x square. X equal to 0 lies between what is that? Minus 1 to plus 1. So that's the way x equal to 0 lies between minus 1 to plus 1. F of x equal to 1 minus x square. That means 1 minus x square. In this one only I will put 1 minus 0 square. 1 minus 0 square should be what is that? 1. Now f of x is 1 equal to 4 divided by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity sin u minus u into cos u divided by u cube into e power 0 into du. Now I'll write 4 2 2s are 2 1s are. Now I'll write this one only. Left hand side should be pi by 2 equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity sin u minus u cos u divided by u cube into du. E power 0 is 1. Now, but here see, if you'll replace minus infinity to plus infinity is there, I want to get the result should be 0 to infinity. If you'll replace x by minus x, you will replace u by minus u, sin of minus u into, so it should be, I will write here directly, sin of minus u is minus sin u. Next one should be u is nothing but minus u, cos of minus u is nothing but cos u. Now here see, one should be minus is there, another one should be what is that? Sin of minus theta should be minus sin theta. Here minus u into cos u divided by minus u whole cube. Totally you will get in numerator 1 minus and denominator 1 minus. So if you cancel it, that one same thing only will get. So that's only I will write directly. You will check, replace u by minus u and you can check. It will come in the form of sin u into cos u divided by u cube is even function. How? You can replace here u by minus u divided by u by minus. You can simplify. It will come in the same form only. Once it will come in the same form, I will tell pi by 2 into 2 times of 0 to infinity. 2 times of 0 to infinity sin u minus u into cos u divided by u cube into du. But the result should be in the form of this one only 2 if I will bring this side pi by 4. But my result should not be in that same form. So it should be what is that? First x into something has to come. So result what you have to prove, x into cos x has to come first. So that's the way I will take from in this minus I will take outside minus of integration of 0 to infinity u into cos u minus sin u divided by u cube into du. This only I will write minus pi by 4 equal to integration of 0 to infinity u plus I am replacing x into cos x minus sin x divided by u cube I am writing as x cube into dx, which is the required solution for the given equation. Minus pi by 4 integration of 0 to infinity x cos x minus sin x divided by x cube. I think you understood. Any doubts is there you can ask. Right. One more question I will simplify in this method. Find the Fourier transform of Fourier transform of find the Fourier transform of f of x equal to e power minus of modulus of x. Right. How do you simplify this? Modulus comes. How do you simplify? You should know that. So now I will take solution. F of x is e power minus of modulus of x. This only I will write e power of minus of modulus of x only. E power minus of minus x when x is less than 0. When x is less than 0. And e power of plus of minus x when x is greater than or equal to 0. We know that this is the modulus definition. This problem should be somewhat different. So modulus of x definition should be over that plus x when x is greater than or equal to 0, minus x when x is less than 0. Now e power of minus of modulus of x equal to 1 should be e power x, x less than 0, e power minus x, x is greater than or equal to 0. Now we can write this one. What is that formula? We know that formula is nothing but that f of u equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e power iux into dx. Now this one only I'll write minus infinity to 0 f of x into e power iux into dx plus integration of 0 to infinity f of x into e power iux into dx. E power iux into dx. So now minus infinity to 0 f of x should be what is that e power x into e power iux into dx plus integration of 0 to infinity f of x should be e power minus x into e power iux into dx. Now, how can I write this one? Say, integration of this one only I'll write minus infinity to 0 e power of 1 plus iu into x into dx plus integration of 0 to infinity e power of minus of 1 minus iu into x. 1 minus iu into x into dx. Now, integration of minus infinity to 0. So, here say, I'll directly integrate. So, once if you'll integrate means e power of 1 plus iu divided by 1 plus iu. Limit should be 1 plus iu into x. Limit should be minus infinity to 0 plus e power of integration of e power of 1 minus iu is nothing but e power of minus of 1 minus iu into x divided by minus of 1 minus iu. Limit should be 0 to infinity. Now, if I will apply this 1 divided by 1 plus iu into e power of 1 plus iu into x, limit should be minus infinity to 0, minus of 1 minus iu, minus of 1 minus iu, e power of minus of 1 minus iu into x, limit should be 0 to infinity. Now, if you will apply the limits, you will get 1 divided by 1 plus iu so that equal to 1 divided by 1 plus iu into, so what you will get here if you will apply upper limit, so you will get e power of, first one should be e power, upper limit should be at that 0, e power 0 minus e power minus infinity. Next one should be similarly over that here minus of 1 divided by 1 minus iu. First limit should be over that. You will apply upper limit should be e power minus infinity minus e power 0. Now I'll get 1 divided by 1 plus iu. E power 0 is 1. E power minus infinity is 0. Minus 1 divided by 1 minus iu. E power minus infinity is 0. E power 0 is 1. Now I'll write 1 divided by 1 plus iu plus 1 divided by 1 minus iu. Now if I'll simplify this, you will get a plus b into a minus b is 1 square minus iu whole square. Here I'll write 1 minus iu plus 1 plus iu I'll write. 1 plus iu minus iu get cancelled. So now you'll get 2 divided by 1 square minus iu square, 1 square minus iu square should be, I'll write it as I square into u square. So 2 divided by 1 square is 1 plus u square. Now this one should be, I'll write it as f of u equal to 2 divided by 1 plus u square. Any doubts in this problem? Right. We'll see one more problem in this. These are all simple. Just I have done here, but that LCM I have done. We take LCM, you will get a plus b into a minus b is nothing but a square minus b square. Then this one 1 minus iu, this one should be 1 plus iu. Same terms, different symbols with same terms are there. I cancel that. So now I got it in this format. Any doubts is there, you can ask. Next, one more problem we will do in the Fourier transform. In these 5 problems, compulsory 1 question will come for examination. Right. Fifth problem in Fourier transform. Find the Fourier transform. Find the Fourier transform. Find the Fourier transform of f of x equal to 1 minus of modulus of x, 1 minus of modulus of x for modulus of x less than or equal to 1, 0 for modulus of x greater than or equal to 1, and hence deduce that integration of 0 to infinity sin square t divided by t square into dt equal to pi by 2. Sin square t divided by t square into dt equal to pi by 2. Right. How do you simplify this one? Say solution for this. Write in the next sheet. Write in the next sheet. What is the solution? We know that here. See, f of u equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e power iux into dx, e power iux into dx. What is that f of x is? See here, I'll write. Already we know that in previous problem only I have done. So what is that? Here it is split into minus 1, modulus of x less than or equal to 1 means minus 1 to plus 1. Here this one should be 0. So remaining places it should be what is that? 0. Now I'll take minus 1 to plus 1. F of x is what is that? 1 minus of modulus of x, 1 minus of modulus of x into e power iux into dx. 1 minus modulus of x, I'll write here, see, this one only I'm splitting. Already I told 1 minus of modulus of x, here I'll split here, see, 1 minus of modulus of x only, I'll write 1 minus of minus x, x less than 0. 1 minus of minus x when x is less than 0. 1 minus of plus x when x is greater than or equal to 0. So the time I will write, this one I am going to split. X less than 0 means what is that? Minus 1 to 0. This I am going to split in the form of minus 1 to 0, 1 minus of minus x into e power iux. I think you understood. Modulus of x I am writing as minus x when minus 1 to 0, x less than 0. Here see, x less than 0 is there. That's the way I am writing like that. Next, plus integration of 0 to 1, 1 minus of, modulus of x should be what that? 1 minus of plus x into e power iux into dx. Here I missed out dx, you can write this dx, e power iux into dx. Why I have written here plus x? This one should be modulus is there, x is greater than 0 means 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Now I'll write this one only. Minus 1 to 0, 1 plus x into e power iux into dx, integration of 0 to 1, 1 minus x into e power iux into dx. Now, if I'll integrate this, I'll get this one I'll take it as u and this one I'll take it as dv. Now u is 1 plus x into integration of e power iux is nothing but e power iux divided by iu minus differentiation of 1 plus x is 1 into integration of e power iux is nothing but already e power iux into divided by iu whole square. Limit should be x equal to minus 1 to 0 plus, here I'll write 1 minus x into e power iux divided by iu, e power iux divided by iu minus, formula minus, differentiation of 1 minus x should be, 1 should be 0, minus x should be minus 1 into e power iux divided by iu whole square. This one should be x equal to 0 to x equal to 1. Now I'll write 1 by iu into 1 plus x into e power iux. This one should be x equal to minus 1 to plus 1 minus 1 by I square into u square e power iux, limit should be x equal to minus 1 to 0. First term I have been completed. Similarly, second term also I have to complete plus 1 by iu I will take out 1 by iu 1 minus x into e power iux, limit should be x equal to 0 to x equal to 1 plus 1 by I square into u square e power iux, limit should be x equal to 0 to x equal to 1, x equal to 0 to x equal to 1. Now I'll write 1 by iu into, first you will apply, here see small correction, this one should be not plus 1, this one should be 0. If you will apply upper limit, so what is that, 1 by iu into what is that, 1 plus 0 into e power 0. Next one should be minus of 1 minus 1 into e power of minus iu. First term I have been applied. For second term if I will apply, second term should be which one? This one. 1 by I square is minus 1. Minus 1 means we will get plus 1 divided by u square into, first I will apply upper limit, e power 0 minus e power of minus iu. Now plus 1 by iu into, first I will apply upper limit, 1 minus 1 into e power iux is e power iu minus lower limit if I will apply 1 minus 0 into e power iu. 1 minus 0 into e power iu. Next one should be minus 1 by I square is minus 1. 1 by u square into e power iu minus e power 0. Now we can write, see I have written here two 1 by iu's, only will get only one 1 by iu only. So this 1 by iu will not come here, 1 by iu into, here what is that, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 minus 1 should be 0. So now you will get, first term should be 1 by iu you will get. First term should be 1 by iu from in that. So next one, 1 minus 1 should be what is that, 0 I told. So first term should be 1 divided by iu. Next one should be plus 1 by u square into 1 by u square into 1 minus e power iu. 1 minus e power iu. Next term should be what is that? Minus e power iu. Next one, we will see here, this is the third term, 1 by iu into 1 minus 1 should be 0. 1 minus 0 into is 1 e power iu. The time we will get minus, third term should be minus 1 by iu into minus 1 by IU into e power IU minus 1 by IU into e power IU minus 1 by IU into, here see, lower limit if you will apply what is that? This one should be here, see, x equal to what is that? The third term, x equal to 0. If you will apply x equal to 0 lower limit, here you will get, this one should be 0. You will get e power 1 by IU into 1 minus 1 should be what is that? This is 0 into e power IU minus 1. 0 into e power IU minus 1. Next one should be minus 1 by u square into e power IU minus 1. E power IU minus 1. This is the terms we are getting. Here say 0 into e power IU. 1 minus 1 should be what that here 0. 0 into e power I should be 0 only. Here e power 0 is what that 1. Now in next step, I'll write. We'll simplify that role. You will get in the form of. That equal to f of u equal to 1 divided by IU. 1 divided by IU plus 1 by u square into 1 minus e power minus IU plus minus 1 by IU minus 1 by IU minus 1 by u square into e power IU minus 1. If you simplify, plus 1 by IU minus 1 by IU get cancelled. So f of u equal to, here 1 by u square is there, here also minus of minus should be plus. I'll write 2 by u square, 2 by u square minus 1 by u square into e power IU plus e power minus IU. E power IU plus e power minus IU. Now I'll take 1 by u square outside. So 2 minus e power I theta plus e power minus I theta is nothing but 2 cos u. 2 cos u divided by u square already I took outside. So right. So now 2 divided by u square into 1 minus cos u. What is that? 1 minus cos u is nothing but, I'll write 2 by u square into 1 minus cos theta is nothing but 2 sine square theta by 2. So that is nothing but 2 into sine square u by 2. U by 2 I'll write. Now this only I'll write 4 by u square. 4 into sine square u by 2 divided by u square. This is f of u, which is f of u. Now here in the problem they asked that, what is that? You have to find, you have to evaluate what is that? Integration of 0 to infinity sine square t divided by t square you have to evaluate. To evaluate this, we have to use inverse formula. How do you use inverse formula? Right, now Fourier inverse formula. Fourier inverse formula. What is that Fourier inverse formula? You know that f of x equal to 1 by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity f of u into e power minus iux into du. Now I'll write f of x equal to 1 by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity. F of u is nothing but 4 into sine square u by 2, sine square u by 2 divided by u square into e power minus iux into du. Now this only I will write 1 by 2 pi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity sine square u by 2 divided by, we'll write this 4 if I'll write in the denominator, I'll write u by 2 whole square into e power minus iux into du. E power minus iux into du. Now here say I'll take, but here u place, if I'll take t now, u by 2 is t means directly I will convert it. But I don't want this e power minus iux. In the proof I want to prove sin square t divided by t square. For that sake I have to eliminate this e power minus iux term. That's the way I'll choose next sheet I'll write, put x equal to 0, in f of x. What is that f of x? We know that already. F of x is what? 1 minus, f of x is nothing but we know that 1 minus modulus of what is that? X. Here f of x should be what is that? 1 minus modulus of x. So here if you put x equal to 0 means f of 0 equal to 1 minus modulus of 0. So that equal to f of 0 is nothing but 1. Now in left hand side f of x equal to 1 equal to, what is that? 1 equal to, left hand side should be 1 equal to 1 by 2 pi, 1 by 2 pi integration of minus infinity to plus infinity, sin square u by 2 divided by u by 2 whole square, sin square u by 2 divided by u by 2 whole square into e power 0 is e power 0 into du. Right. So now this 2 pi if I'll send this side, 2 pi equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity, sin square u by 2 divided by u by 2 whole square into du. Now here say if you will take replace, if it is sin square x divided by x square is what? Even function. Sin square x divided by x square is even function. U by 2 is there now? U by 2 is nothing but t if you will take 2 pi equal to minus infinity to even function. Whenever even function means I'll write 2 times of 0 to infinity sin square u by 2 divided by u by 2 whole square into du. So now I'll write this one only, pi equal to integration of 2 pi by 2 is nothing but pi you will get, integration of 0 to infinity sin square u by 2 divided by u by 2 whole square into du. Now if I'll take t equal to u by t, if I'll take substitution, let t equal to u by 2 means dt equal to dt by du is nothing but 1 by 2 into du. Dt is nothing but that, dt by du is nothing but 1 by 2 into du. Now du equal to 2 times of dt. So now I'll write pi equal to, limits also will be changed as 0 to infinity only, sin square t divided by t square 2 times of dt. Now you will get pi by 2 equal to integration of 0 to infinity sin square t divided by t square into dt, which is the required solution for the given equation. Any doubts in this? You can ask. These 5 problems are very, very important. So like this, in the same way, we can simplify the problems. Right, any kind of problem if they will give, you can simplify it very easily.